My name is Anna, and I have a messy house, and I'm a perfectionist. What if the mess didn't bother us, didn't automatically give us the sense of failure? What if the mess represented something positive? What if we could see a mess from a different angle? We're going to talk about when the mess is so overwhelming. If your house is anything like mine, there is a constant, steady flow of kids pulling toys out, craft and activity supplies trailing throughout the house because the kids are always in the middle of a project and plan to come back to it. Oh, and don't forget the ever trashed vehicle due to late nights and everyone being wiped out and exhausted at the end of a long trip. My kids are going from one thing to the next. Things get dropped, things get left out, people forget to pick up as they go, and the list goes on and on. And on top of that, I have my own tasks laid out for me, and it doesn't always include following people around consistently. Now, in turn, there is always a mess, as you would say. As a disclaimer, we do have multiple daily pickup times, and my children are responsible for their things, but I'm referring to the ever-present presence of stuff at any given moment in the day. It's honestly a very, very defeating cycle, especially when there are systems in place and intentional efforts towards keeping things tidy, which is hopefully training our children in lifelong habits. I want to share a light bulb moment with you that I had just a few days ago. This really changed things for me, and I think this may bring some new or needed perspective in the messy house department. I came across Proverbs 14:4 during my quiet time recently. This small little verse completely changed my perspective. My mind needed to be renewed in this, so I am very, very grateful for this awareness. And here's what it says: where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of an ox. Basically, a messy house means that I have a very valuable asset, my children. They are the future, a force being invested in. What this also means is, just like a stall with huge valuable oxen that reside there, you can imagine the smell, the mess, the destruction that is in their wake, the sheer amount of hay and grain needed to feed these bottomless pits is pricey, yet they are necessary and vital to an abundant harvest. Let me know if this is resonating with you. This was a huge light bulb moment for me. This stopped me in my tracks. I am housing, feeding, equipping, and investing in stinky, destructive, seemingly at the moment, eternal souls. These precious souls play a valuable role in eternity, and the mess is part of it. It means without this element, we wouldn't have the life flowing through our homes. Now, that is not putting a whole new perspective on things. I mean, I always knew I was raising the future, but when you liken it to a sterile, clean stall versus a dirty stall, that resonated with me. How lifeless my home would be if we didn't have the messes. If my main goal was a clean house, we would have a very suffocating environment. The messes mean we are fully experiencing, playing, bonding, and living, which means we experience all of it. Our home is alive. Through these messes, our children are learning how things work, making mistakes and gaining valuable insight, along with figuring out relationships and how to navigate life. There is happiness, fun, and joy, along with the dirty, time-consuming, hard work that comes with the mess that is generated from our assets. So back to, what if the mess in our homes didn't equate to failure? What if we put a positive spin on this concept? It could look like, my messy house doesn't mean I'm failing. It means that we are living fully. Doesn't that sound so much better? This is to get us to the bigger picture when the toy bin is dumped. Think of the imagination that is about to take place. A new perspective when your children ask to make a craft. Instead of thinking about the mess, think about the memories and experiences that are shaping their hearts and their minds. These interests and activities that often cause us stress are quite likely the spark that ignites our children's imagination, interest, and future passions and jobs. Our second oldest, who just graduated this spring, now runs her own baking business. When she was little, she was always asking to try a new recipe, to make a new creation. Her desire, talent, and bent towards this occupation began with me choosing to say yes. Now that was a mental hurdle because saying yes in the midst of other little ones in the home where one more mess was overwhelming was definitely something that I had to push through and work through. Think about your current life right now, maybe with littles or young adults or maybe both. Wherever you are in your parenting journey, it's kind of like farm life. Now, bear with me. All of that repetitive work to plan what food is needed, plan when to pick up the food, plan how to distribute the food, along with all of the hours of managing, preparing, cleaning those expected messes that obviously go along with spending time in a stall is hard work. It is super hard. This, though, is where the nourishing happens. The tender care and shelter is provided. This is preparing them for the impact that they will have on those around them, preparing them for the future. The messes are just part of raising humans that will impact our world. Family life is beautiful, and I think we can all agree on that. I think we can also agree that it's also really, really messy. The reality of living life with people and all the things that we incorporate in our everyday means that all that stuff has to be dealt with and organized and put back or not put back. Let's just be honest. Unless you live a super minimal lifestyle, which we don't, this may resonate with you and hopefully help relieve some of the weight that comes with home management and the mess. When we take a deeper look at what is actually spread throughout the four corners of our home, these are everyday resources that we are using and utilizing. The laundry, dishes, bathroom, toys, crafts, and whatever catches your eye and weighs on you, in all reality, are the tools necessary to live. And the fact that all the dishes, toys, and resources are out and being used means you are living. Your children have what they need as they live day to day. This stuff is a byproduct of having needs met, experiences, memories, and growth. This is family life. Now, I'm all about the organizing and things being tidy. However, family life generates messes. I've been wanting to get to a better place with my acceptance of the fullness, let's just say, of living a full, rich life as a family of 8. This verse really, really helped me to put things into perspective. Yes, we have assigned chores. Yes, we have multiple daily cleanup times. No, I'm not trying to do everything on my own. We all work together quite well as a unit. There is just that weight with the ever-present presence of stuff that's left out, forgotten about, that I just needed to shake because it was honestly driving me nuts. Let's just put it this way. I have been in many, many houses where family life is super full, so I know I'm not alone in this. Social media confuses us because we tend to see others' best and compare to our everyday, as they say. But to set the record straight, I would probably absolutely panic if someone just dropped by my house unannounced. For instance, when we get home from a trip, we're usually super tired and exhausted, and we're not going to clean up immediately. We're just going to drop our stuff at the door and head to bed. Or if we've had a busy day or a late night, we aren't picking up as we go. And if you multiply that times 8 people, several things left out, it really, really adds up. The messes are real around here, and that means that we are truly living. I have to ask myself, what is my goal with my family? What is my vision? If my goal is to keep a clean, tidy house, then I need to shift my priorities to obtain that. For me, training my children in the way that they should go, exposing them to new ideas to spark interest and have a love of learning and trying new things, along with equipping them towards their bent, which would be fully living. This now means our stalls are not clean. Although I don't always have control over the mess, I do have control over my mindset. Don't get discouraged by the messes in life. It just means you're alive and truly living. Now, practically speaking, messes do exist and they do have to be addressed. So here are some tactics that make it simpler in the midst of living a full life. Check that out right here, and I will chat with you down in the comments or over there on Instagram or Facebook. Bye.